We've all seen it. The naturally gifted person who seems unstoppable. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Talent is overrated. Every year, talented individuals get outperformed by people who are simply more disciplined. Why? Because talent might give you a head start, but discipline keeps you moving when motivation fades. In this video, we're breaking down why discipline beats talent every time, and how building the right habits can take you further than natural ability ever could. Talent is just a starting point. Think of talent as the hand you're dealt at birth. Some people are naturally fast learners. Some have an ear for music, a gift for numbers, or a sharp tongue for words. That's great, but a good starting hand doesn't win the game if you don't know how to play it. Talent without direction is just raw material sitting in a warehouse, going to waste. We've all known that one person who was ridiculously gifted, maybe the smartest kid in class or the most naturally athletic, but they never really did anything with it. They coasted on their ability until the world caught up with them and passed them. That's what happens when talent isn't backed by consistent effort. It fades, it stagnates, and eventually it becomes irrelevant. Discipline, on the other hand, is what takes that raw material and actually builds something with it. It's the daily work, the uncomfortable hours, the decisions you make when no one is watching. Talent gives you a head start, but discipline is what determines how far you actually go. Discipline shows up every single day. Here's the thing about talent. It shows up when it feels like it. Discipline shows up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. That's the difference. A talented person waits for inspiration to strike. A disciplined person doesn't need inspiration. They've built a system, a routine, a set of habits that keep them moving forward even when they're tired, bored, or frustrated. Think about the most successful people you know, or the ones you've read about. Michael Jordan wasn't just naturally gifted. He was the first one in the gym and the last one to leave. He outworked everyone around him. Kobe Bryant was famous for starting practice at 4 a.m. These weren't just talented athletes. They were obsessively disciplined ones. That obsession is what separated them from hundreds of other incredibly talented players who never made it to their level. Discipline builds momentum. Every single day you show up, you're adding a brick to your foundation. You're reinforcing the habit, strengthening the muscle, sharpening the skill. Over time, that compound effect becomes unstoppable. Talent, without that daily commitment, never builds anything lasting. Hard work fills the gaps talent leaves behind. No one is talented at everything. Even the most gifted people have weaknesses, blind spots, and areas where they struggle. Talent doesn't cover those gaps. Discipline does. When you're disciplined, you don't just practice the things you're already good at. You work on the things that are hard. You study your weaknesses. You push into the uncomfortable zones because you understand that's where growth actually happens. A talented musician who never practices sight reading will always struggle with it. A disciplined musician who's not naturally gifted but drills the basics every day will eventually master it. This is why in most professional environments, the people who last the longest and climb the highest are rarely the most talented in the room. They're the most consistent. They show up prepared. They grind through problems instead of waiting for their natural ability to pull them through. Discipline also teaches you resilience. When things get hard, and they will, talent doesn't automatically save you. But if you've built the discipline to keep going anyway, to push through failure and setbacks, you develop a level of toughness that no amount of natural ability can replace. Discipline builds real confidence. A lot of people think confidence is something you either have or you don't. But real confidence, the kind that holds up under pressure, comes from one place: doing the work. When you're disciplined, you know you've put in the hours, you've prepared, you've done the reps. That knowledge gives you a deep, unshakable confidence that doesn't crumble when things get difficult. Talented people who rely on their gifts without putting in the work tend to develop a fragile confidence. It's the kind that needs constant validation, that falls apart under criticism or failure. Because deep down they know they can fully earn it. They just showed up and hoped their natural ability would carry them through. Discipline-based confidence is completely different. It's grounded in evidence. You've done the work. You've seen yourself improve. You overcome obstacles that made you want to quit and you kept going anyway. That track record is something no one can take from you. It also means you're not afraid of hard challenges, because you trust the process. You know that if you put in the time, you can learn, grow, and figure things out, no matter how hard they seem at first. Success is built on boring consistency. One of the least glamorous truths about success is that most of it is incredibly boring. It's not dramatic breakthroughs or sudden flashes of genius. It's waking up every morning and doing the same unglamorous things over and over again, long after the excitement has worn off. Discipline is exactly that. The ability to keep doing the boring, necessary work even when it stops feeling exciting. Talent loves the highlight reel. Talent thrives on the moments when everything clicks and it feels effortless and amazing. But success is mostly built in the in-between moments, the practice sessions no one sees, the late nights of preparation, the repetition of fundamentals that seem too basic to bother with. Disciplined people understand this. They don't need every day to feel meaningful or inspiring. They've accepted that consistency is the job. You write the chapter even when the words feel flat. You do the workout even when your body doesn't want to. You make the calls, send the emails, and put in the effort even when results seem slow. That consistency, compounded over months and years, is what creates results that look like talent to outsiders, but are really just the product of relentless, patient effort. Discipline is a skill you can actually learn. Here's some really good news. Unlike talent, discipline is not something you're born with or without. It's skill, and like any skill, it can be developed, strengthened, and refined with practice. You're not either a disciplined person or an undisciplined person. You're someone who has more or less developed the habit of discipline in different areas of your life. And that means if you're not as disciplined as you want to be right now, you can change that. Start small. Pick one area where you want to build discipline, your health, your work, your learning, and commit to showing up consistently, even in small ways. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. Just build one strong habit and let it become the foundation for others. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you reinforce the identity of a disciplined person. Over time, that identity becomes real. You become someone who does what they say they're going to do, who doesn't make excuses, who shows up even when it's hard. And that person, that disciplined person, will outperform talented individuals in almost every area of life, almost every time. Talent might be the starting line, but discipline is the entire race. Talent is a gift, but discipline is a choice. If this motivated you, hit like and subscribe for more mindset and performance insights. And watch the next video to learn how to build unshakable discipline in your